Alright guys, I want to make another quick video here about this right here. This is a trailing blackberry. You will be able to observe it by, oh look at this, that's a bee right there. See that? That's a good sign. That's a really good sign. You'll be able to identify it by the fact that it's trailing as opposed to upright, arching. Here in Oregon, this is the only native blackberry. Himalayan blackberries, arching brambles, they are not native. These are also called dewberries. Most blackberries that trail on the ground are called dewberries as well. It's kind of a tomato thing for me, but you know, other people are going to be more distinguishing about that. Now that is actually a really good sign there. That guy, I don't know if you can see him, because this is set to be my most productive bramble. You can see all the flowers going out this way here. You can see all the flowers going out this way here. Just a ton of flowers on this guy. And it's got way more flowers on it than my raspberry. It's got way more flowers on it than my black raspberry, which you may have already seen. However, wild trailing blackberries do not self-pollinate. Specifically, they only produce male or female flowers on an individual plant. So this right here, which has female flowers, let's see if I can zoom in on this guy so you see what it looks like. It's a little bright. It kind of just looks like a giant dome of small little, you know, I don't even know what to call them. But I believe they're referred to as pistils. And those are what need pollen in order to produce fruit. This guy over here is a male, and it's been in the ground since I moved in, a little bit longer than my trailing blackberry, and it's doing a lot better than it was when it first got into the ground. It's got a really nice thick new stem here from this spring. Unfortunately, it was damaged. However, it's still growing really strong, and it's going to start putting out some new growth, some laterals here, hopefully, that I can use to continue to branch out. And the male flowers, you can see, are much larger in the middle. This one here just opened. It's not quite releasing pollen yet. But you can see that big old cluster on top. That's where all the pollen is going to come off of. And so as soon as that one is releasing pollen, I can use that one to pollinate the rest of these guys. The problem is that the flowers on these guys have been open for almost a month earlier than these guys, and it's because this is the corner of my yard that gets no sun. The sun kind of stops like right about here at the peak of our sunlight days. You can actually see the line here where it kind of diverges right there. Because of that, this guy gets like almost no sun, and I'm really hoping, of course, since this guy got damaged, I'm kind of getting, you know, shooting myself in the foot a little bit with how this guy's been growing. I've had a lot of moles getting in here and kind of tilling up the soil underneath my wood chips. This guy here looks like the tip that came off of it. It's really unfortunate, but you know, that's where we are. I was hoping that once this guy really starts going, I can get vines to actually come out and follow along the sides of our female. And so once these have all flowered and I chop them back, I'm going to do the same thing with at least the healthiest, the strongest of these ones here. Send them back out that way where they can get full sun, and hopefully send some of these ones out there with it so that the flowers are right next to each other. Because as you can see, we've got this bee here that's just getting as much nectar as it can because there's no pollen on this one. And it would be really nice if I could get her, it's a female bee, to start collecting pollen from these flowers. Of course, like I said, there's only one open here. Unfortunately, there's another one that's almost open over here. These ones have actually been out. This is the ironic thing. These flowers have been out for longer and have been ready longer than those ones, but because they did not have that direct light, they've just been waiting. Essentially, they've just been so slow at this point right here where they're just about to open, but they don't want to. So I don't know how productive it's going to be this year. What I'm planning on doing is, as soon as those flowers start releasing pollen, I'm going to start manually pollinating and hope. Oh, there's a wild bee right there, it looks like. Leaf cutter of some kind. maybe a mason. I'm hoping that I can manually pollinate and get a good enough collection of fruit off of these. Oh, he was just on that male flower over there. He's over on the thimbleberry now. But I'm hoping that in subsequent years, once we get this guy going, I can start getting huge crops off of this guy. You can already see this guy's got a bunch of new really thick stems. Ever since I put this guy in the ground, the stems that it's been putting out have been a lot longer, a lot thicker, a lot healthier. And this guy, I'm hoping, is set to do the same thing. You can see it's got that waxy coating that the black raspberry has as well. But that's kind of just what I wanted to show you guys here. Some other identifying features about this is that unlike the Himalayan and the Himalayan blackberry and the black raspberry, this guy produces pinnate leaves as opposed to palmate. And what that means is that instead of having a wide palm shape, it actually has more like a raspberry. It has a 3-leaf combo at the tip and then opposing leaves farther down. And I can show you on my raspberry here. Similar thing, 3-leaf combo, 2 farther down. So a little interesting little factoid there. Much thinner trailing stems, much smaller thorns that you can usually remove with a cloth even if you wanted to. But that's this guy here, trailing blackberry. Super excited. Hope you guys enjoyed. And maybe I'll do a video on these thimbleberries once they finally start flowering, but we'll see.